It's got a really strange noise making me nervous.
We left Twin Falls, Idaho this morning on our way to Great Basin National Park. The weather is spectacular, but not as amazing as the scenery in eastern Nevada. We're nearly to the park and really looking forward to enjoying the Wheeler Peak Scenic Drive and touring the famous Lehman Caves. It says here, Wheeler Peak Scenic Drive is closing in anticipation of a winter storm on 10/25/23. And that's today.
Oh, great. That's just our luck.
You have arrived.
Is it? I don't understand. Yeah, I guess. Wait a minute. This is confusing. I guess you go right.
I can't tell.
I can't either. These sites are small.
Yeah, they are.
And he's right, it's tight up here. Well, we went to the first campground and there was, yeah, it was bad. It was really tight. There were several spots that probably would have worked for us, but we're here late in the day, so they were already taken. So we're on to the second campground and we're hoping that they have something. If not, then I guess we're heading out of the park. I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll figure it out.
For now, it's 3 miles of washboarded gravel.
Yay. We love washboarded gravel. After striking out at Upper Lehman Creek Campground, we're pulling the long, steep hill to Baker Creek Campground, the only other campground within the park that's still open this late in the season.
Well, we've been dragging up this long, steep, bumpy hill. It's all washboarded, so we have to go really slow. It's causing our trans temp to heat up. Oh, look, it just dropped. The trans temp warning light was on. We were up to 276. We're down to 264. We've been sitting here kind of letting it cool down a bit. So hopefully we're almost there.
This has not been our greatest day ever, but it'll be all right.
Sounds like metal on metal.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. We just stopped. We're trying to let the engine cool off, and it's got a really strange noise making me nervous. Not sure what's going on yet.
Again, this is not our greatest day.
We finally got into a campsite, but woo, what a doozy. We're in Baker Creek Campground here in Great Basin National Park. We tried to get an Upper Lehman Creek. Was it Upper Lehman Creek?
Yeah, I think so.
But it was full, and man, the spots were so tight. Our 25-foot trailer was just too big for most of the sites.
Yeah, there were maybe 4 or 5 sites that we could have possibly made work, but they were already taken for the day, so.
But Baker Creek is fairly empty.
Mm-hmm.
The loop we're in, we're the only folks in here, but it's rough. The sites are not super easy to get into. They're not terrible.
They're most of them are very steep.
Yeah.
They're on a very steep hillside, so it's impossible to level in a lot of them.
We're in for a cold and windy night.
And the biggest problem with Baker Creek is that it was 3 miles down a very dusty, very washboarded gravel road. We got super dirty, and they're calling for maybe some rain or snow tonight, so we're a little bit concerned about getting back out.
Yeah. So let's hope for very little precipitation.
Yeah. We've already decided, though, this is a one and done. We're not staying here more than one night. If we don't get a site in Lehman Creek tomorrow, then we're just going to head out.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard to tell, but we're on a fairly steep hill. We're remaining hooked up. So we put some blocks underneath the tail of the truck to try and get the nose of the trailer off the ground a bit more. And it's still pretty low in the front of the trailer. It looks high in the video here, I'm sure, but it's low in the front. A couple inches. But it'll be all right for one night.
Well, the forecast was wrong once again, but this time in our favor. There was no rain or snow, and it is a beautiful sunny day. Now we are packed up and heading back down the hill to the Lehman Caves Visitor Center for our scheduled cave tour.
I got my pear picking stick. We're going pear picking here in the park.
In the Visitor Center parking lot.
Yeah, they've got some pear trees right here in the Visitor Center parking lot for the Lehman Caves Visitor Center, and you're allowed to pick some pears. They look like they're ripe, so we're going to give it a shot.
Look at this branch. It is loaded full of pears. That's awesome.
Sure is. Yeah, this whole tree, man, it's got a lot of pears. There's a lot on the ground too. Which ones look good?
I don't know.
I can find some that look like they're more ripe. Got a twofer.
2 for 1.
Just take a few.
Yeah, let's take 4 or 5.
I think they're ripe.
Seemed like it. A lot of them are on the ground, which means they've fallen, so. Yeah. You missed them both, man. I think it was this one.
This right here, right?
Got a bag full of pears.
Got a few pears. Don't want to.
For us.
Yeah, we don't want to take too many.
As we drove in, there were a whole bunch of turkeys out in the parking lot pecking at the pears. That's how we noticed that there were even pears there, any fruit. So that's how we knew.
Darn bunch of pear peckers. Fresh pears for lunch.
How is it?
Pretty good. Yeah. About perfect ripeness, I think.
We never really understood what the Great Basin was, but it's a huge area that encompasses a lot of Nevada, that it's basically where the water that falls there has no outlet to any ocean. It just evaporates back into the atmosphere. Behind me is a giant valley that is part of the Great Basin, but the Great Basin itself is just a massively huge area. We thought it was going to be like some small thing that we were going to come to this park and see, but that's not at all the case. We're getting ready to take the Lehman Caves Lodge Room tour. It's about an hour-long tour, goes through several rooms of the cave, I guess. It's not the big tour, but it's what we had time for. So. Lehman Caves have been the main attraction to the area since their discovery sometime around 1885. In 1922, Lehman Caves National Monument was established, but it didn't become Great Basin National Park until 1986. Today, while there are other attractions in the park, such as the Wheeler Peak Scenic Drive, an ancient Bristlecone pine grove, and challenging hikes to mountain lakes, the caves remain the park's biggest attraction.
We were 120 feet underground.
What would you think of the tour?
That's good. A lot of formations. I like it.
Hey look, this is the natural entrance. This was apparently where all the tours started from up until 1939. They've got it set up now so that obviously humans can't come through here, but the bats can. So they're trying to repopulate the cave with bats. So they had this capped off so bats couldn't get in or out and rid the cave of bats for about 60 years. But now the Townsend long-eared bats, which are the original inhabitants of this cave, are finally starting to return.
Since the road was still closed after our cave tour, we decided to leave the rest of this park for another visit and make our way out of the Great Basin. Oh yeah, that noise the truck was making? Best we can tell, it was the transmission cooler pinging as it cooled down. We haven't heard the noise since, and all is well. Our next stop, a place that can best be described as grand. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss it.
Every time we crest a mountain range, we think that's got to be the last one, because we've been over so many. But every time we crest one, there's another one right ahead.